Well, this is one of the questions that's very similar on this, and we don't necessarily have to answer it in full because it's, a pretty heavy question. But at Carla Torres would like to know, how do you care and prepare a body at home? So maybe let's just start with how one can go about doing that and where one could go about doing that.
This is preparing a body at home?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was like, there's so many things coming in on Twitter, and I'm like a little that gets distracted.
So it's, yeah, how do you care and prepare a body at home? Maybe not necessarily like the method, but how would one go about doing that?
Sure. Sorry, Lauren, I feel like I'm monopolizing, this.
That's okay. Again. This is your place there, so.
Ask a question about burial. That's all her. Yeah, as far as caring for a body at home, it's legal in every state in the United States to care for a body at home. There are some states, New York included, I believe, that there needs to be some funeral director involvement in the process at some point, whether it's, and there are a couple states that are like that, whether it's filing the death certificate or needing to sign off on something, but there's no state where it's not legal to keep the body at home after somebody dies. There's a ton of information on the internet. If you just Google home funeral, if you Google National Home Funeral Alliance, there's a lot of places to find information about how you can take care of the body. The body is not dangerous. It's not going to start decomposing immediately. There's really a 2 to 3 day window, as long as you have some kind of ice, whether it be dry ice or ice packs, where you can keep the body there and take care of it yourself and wash its hair and put clothes on it or wrap it up or sit with it or sing to it or play the flute because she loved the flute or play Wagner or have a party. And you can really take that time in the comfort of the person's home to spend that time and watch the person change ever so subtly from the person that you knew who was alive to someone who is dead now. And how does the community go from there? So it's not an easy thing to do. It's not like home funerals for everyone, just keep mom at home. It is a thing, again, that you have to research, but it can be really, really worth it.
And Lauren, this is a question that might be a bit better tailored to you, and this is from Helena Wales. She wants to know, within the context of a funeral, a traditional funeral, what are some ways that people can have a very personalized service?
There's a lot of different ways that you can have a personalized service with a traditional funeral. A traditional funeral, which I kind of explain, would be like a visitation or a wake, followed by a service, and then a cremation or a burial afterwards. So that's kind of what I view as a more traditional funeral. And with regards to that, I mean, there are so many different things. We actually have a visitation going on at the funeral home that I work at now, and inside of the deceased casket are all different kinds of photos and mementos and things that they have loved throughout their lives. And that's something that I see all the time, is just people bringing in items that remind them of the person and that they've loved. I mean, I've put everything in a casket, from cigarettes to alcohol, lottery tickets, bingo dabbers. I mean, really the list is endless for things that have gone with a person to their burial spot. So, I mean, you can kind of personalize things that way. We're also seeing a large trend of not necessarily picture boards, but like video memories, where people will put together slideshows and different things such as that to be displayed at the wake or visitation as well, which can really kind of personalize items as well. And depending on what kind of a church you belong to and said priest or minister, a lot of times they're also very willing to, input personalized objects and things for the funeral, even if it's something as simple as playing a favorite song during the service. We see a lot of that in our area. Yeah, there's for a traditional aspect of the funeral, I really think that it's endless as to what you can or can't do. It's just you're kind of taking those 3 steps, if you will, which is why you're defining it as a traditional funeral. So whatever you want to bring in, whatever folks want to, I mean, it's no problem with our funeral home, and it's not a problem with any of the funeral homes that I've gone to in the Western New York area as well. So most funeral directors, they just want to serve the families. So whatever they can do to make this process easier, or if you bring in anything, I've done things such as balloon releases, dove releases, that kind of bring in a more personalized aspect of if you want to write a note and then release it with the balloon and all different things like that. The possibilities are endless for what people want to do.
Yeah, it's almost new rituals within, a traditional framework, so it's nice.
Yeah.